Let's create a budget. Let's get out of debt. Let's build wealth.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. Before I basically ended this series on creating a spreadsheet, I wanted to do one last thing, and that is, in the last video I talked about we can change right here. We could change every month what month we're in, and we can reset all of these back to no. So one last thing I wanted to go over is if some people like to always look back and see what they did and how they progressed. So what I wanted to do was show you how to make multiple sheets. So right here, it's going to always tell you sheet 1. We can right click on this. We can put move or copy. We'll move it to the end and we'll create a copy. So if we right click on this, if you're going to make multiple sheets, we can rename this into like info, like the information. And then what we're going to do is you don't want to have to re-enter this on every page, or if you make changes or something like that. So what you can do is on this first one, which we're actually going to name January because we'll have one for every month, we're going to have, you can have all of these cells. So this, starting with this cell, we can start due date, and you'll have this equal. You'll click back on your info tab and it'll equal that. So now once you do that, you can highlight this and this little tiny little box right here. You'll just drag this down. Now this is going to put some zeros on your page. There are ways of getting that out. That's another thing too, is it changes the color all the way down, but you can easily highlight. This isn't a conditional formatting field. You can easily highlight that, change it back. Like that. Okay. And then same thing here. And another way of doing this will equal this, and then you just copy this down. Then on here you can click equals that same page, cell, and then again we want to click in here. We'll drag this down. Now it doesn't actually change the color. Minimum payments, this is up to you. These could change every month. Obviously credit cards, things like that's going to change. Your car payment, mortgage probably won't change. But again, if you want to copy, if you wanted it to copy, one good thing about this is if you do copy everything, make it copy the input page, you can always change it on that particular page without affecting the formula on any other pages. So we'll copy that. And then if it's going to be kind of the same, you could copy it over this way. It changes the color. That's the only thing I don't like. Let's undo that. And we're going to copy that down. You would just do the same with each of these. So these are copy, and the thing is, you can on any given date, you can just come in here and enter this. I think it's always good to at least copy it. That way, even if you don't use this, it'll just kind of stay defaulted up here. And say 5 months from now you want to update it, it'll at least change your net worth, liabilities, assets. So you'll do the same, for this area. You don't have to copy over the status. Actually, you don't want to copy over the status because you still need to be able to change and choose that every month. The formula doesn't need to be copied up here. Basically, you're just copying descriptions. Okay, so all of this is now copied over. Once you have it all copied over, I left the check fields. You can choose to have this copy over also, especially if you're not going to actually enter this. You're just going to kind of leave it defaulted, then you want to make sure you copy this over so it doesn't change your cash flow. Okay, so now that everything is copied over, you can go down here and make sure you're choosing January because it has the formulas. And you don't, and now you'll move or copy, and we'll make a copy, move it to the end, and that's going to move it over. This will now become our February. Now, make sure that when you make this copy, you're not copying February, you're copying February. And then you'll just, on February, you'll move to the end, create your copy. I'm going to change this to March. Right click to rename now. And the reason we're doing this is now that everything's copied over, let's say you're in January and March, you want to make change. Let's add a few more months in here. If you want to make changes, and then of course you will have to go into each one of these. You can either take out this now that you have every month, or it's just a one-time thing. Really, you go in and you change it to whatever month that corresponds with the tab. Okay, so now let's say in March, you've been doing this for a couple of months. In March, you're like, hey, I need to um, change minus amount, or I need to add an expense that wasn't in January or February. So you can go to your info page, you can add it here. So let's say now all of a sudden, you got work lunch. Don't want to take out your miscellaneous that you want to make sure that's added. That's going to be $25. And then get a new, new Visa card. You apply for a new one. Zero right now. You owe 0. You have a credit line of 5,000. So you can update it on this page. That way, March is now added. The Visa on there is added with the 5,000, and we have the work lunch, and it's added every month. And you don't have to worry about typing it, forgetting it, or something like that. So, if it's let's say it's just a one-time thing, and you got, son's soccer, but it's just going to be a one-time payment, with $100 for that whole year, for that quarter, spring, summer, fall, something like that. Actually type it in on this page. It won't copy over to the next page. But if that's going to become a new bill, and that is going to be a new something every month, it's going to be a monthly payment, and you want to come to the info tab here. That way, it's added to every page, and you don't have to do the extra work. So, guys, if it, to me, I mean, if you're not really keeping track, if you're in May, you end up paying this off, you want to go back and see how much you owed, and you want to have a history, and you want to create the multiple tabs. You don't really care about that. You just want to make sure all your bills are paid. Then you can just use the single page and change the month, reset everything to know every month. But it is good to know your options and know that you can, do it this way. Set yourself an info page. Doesn't matter what you copy. You copy anything, and it'll copy over every page for every month. That way you don't have to do extra work. It's kind of already set up for you. So guys, that's basically how you can create multiple tabs. And one other suggestion I would suggest is, once you've created this and you have all of your dates all the way till December, you want to hit file, and you'll save as something else. I would save it as like my spreadsheet template or something. That way, come the new year, you can just start over. You can keep this, and then you can rotate the info page for the new year, and it'll automatically update. Well, if you already made changes, once you make a change, it's not going to update. You make a change on a single month. If you never make the changes on a month, and you always make them on the info page, you will update it. But I will always save yourself a separate copy. That way, if you need to start over, or you need a new one, or even if you wanted to give it to someone else, you'll have a blank slate to start with. So guys, I hope you found value in this video. If you did, I would appreciate a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to hear some comments on this whole series, how you guys, if you like this, if it was interesting, boring, or if you want to see more stuff like this, just leave a comment below. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.